It stands for outstanding workmanship, durability and robustness. The ThinkPad. There are only a few other notebook series that have managed to remain so successful over the years and have also shaped an entire generation. This is the story of one of the most famous notebooks of all time, the ThinkPad. Let's go. To understand the ThinkPad story, we first have to look back into the past, to be precise in the year 1998. Shortly after the Cold War was declared over and the policy of detente began to take effect, a new form factor of mobile computing saw the light of the day: the laptop. This new type of computer shook up the computer industry and caused the market leaders IBM and Compaq to falter. But IBM in particular was unable to gain foothold in this market for the first time. They struggled to get away from the classic PC, especially as they had been promoting the classic home PC for years. This step was much easier for Compaq and other manufacturers, and IBM, with its only moderately successful mobile PC, gradually acquired the reputation of a giant that doesn't want to move. This reputation was used by other companies, such as Apple, to promote their own computers, and was quite successful. To get rid of this image, IBM struck a final blow against the other manufacturers in 1992. On October the 5th, 1992, IBM introduced the world the ThinkPad 700C, and it was an absolute success. The ThinkPad exceeded all expectations of the experts. Just everyone wanted a ThinkPad. Even the then US President George W. Bush wanted a ThinkPad, which is why he even had to call the then CEO of IBM because of the delivery problems. When you think of the ThinkPad, you will most likely think about the characteristic red button in the center of the keyboard. And I'm no different. But this is just one of the many design decisions that went into the ThinkPad. The ThinkPad design was introduced in 1992 by the German industrial designer Richard Zappa, who wanted to stand out from the mostly beige boxes with a radical design change at the time, according to Zappa. But he didn't just want to stand out by simply making the ThinkPad look different. He was mainly pursuing practical ideas. For example, the base of the case was to be black, which was not only intended to serve a visual purpose, but also to make it appear as if the display was brighter, which still works today. The shape of the case also had to be special, as the only template available was a packet of cigarettes. The casing had to be rectangular, simple and robust, and it was also IBM had only used plastic. The ThinkPad was very robust and durable, and even back then the journalists called it robust and durable. Now let's move on to the track point, the red button between the B, G and H keys. This was also developed by Zappa and was intended to make it easier for users to use the mouse without having to raise their hands off the keyboard. It was also practically popular, as it meant for you didn't have to use the small unprecise touchpads at the time. In the history of the ThinkPads, as in the history of any product, there are ups and downs. But in the history of the ThinkPad, there are a few, let's say, special cases. The IBM ThinkPad 550 BG. This ThinkPad was only sold in Asia and had a printer developed with Canon as a special feature. Although you might think that such a computer must have been a great success in 1993, you'd be wrong. It was discontinued after just a few years. The IBM ThinkPad 7550 CDV. This laptop couldn't look more normal, but it had an interesting feature. The back of the display could be removed so that it could be placed under an overhead projector. Like the notebook shown earlier, it was not a great success. Last but not least, we're coming to the IBM ThinkPad 701 Butterfly. What do you do if your notebook is too small for a full-size keyboard? Right, you fold the keyboard into the notebook so that a full-size keyboard folds out when you open it. In my opinion, this is a really innovative and creative idea. But spoiler, it wasn't really successful. After the successful 90s, a market trend became increasingly apparent. ThinkPads were selling less and less. IBM also realized this and decided to sell the ThinkPad series to the Chinese laptop manufacturer Lenovo in the year 2005. This deal was heavily criticized, but IBM was forced to make the deal, as they had been struggling to maintain their position in the market for some time. Lenovo did not wait for long, however, and began to bring the ThinkPad back into the mainstream. So they began to bring previously tried and tested designs into the modern era. This plan led the launch of the ThinkPad T400, T410 and T420 in 2010, which impressed with their ThinkPad typical excellent keyboards and good performance. Just as it had proved, Lenovo continued his corporate strategy, and it has certainly proved its worth. Lenovo still sells the ThinkPad today and also give it new design and new hardware every few years. The ThinkPad series is probably the most legendary notebook series after Apple's Macbooks ever made. They were created by IBM out of need and became a gigantic success. And although the whole situation of laptops has changed completely nowadays, the basic structure of the ThinkPads has remained the same. Hardly any other laptop series can claim to have achieved cult status, but the ThinkPads have. Even today, there are hundreds of communities that have formed around the ThinkPad itself and keep the spirit of this laptop alive. But what is your opinion about the ThinkPads? Do you use a ThinkPad, or are you perhaps even watching this video on one? Please write in the comments. Thanks for watching, leave a like below, subscribe my channel if you want to support my channel, and see you in the next video.